Hello, Splinter Snake here with a different review of sorts. Just going to do over a quick video to show you guys my Bat vehicle, probably best words, my Bat vehicle collection. As you can see here, we have a fine line of animated and movie vehicles. I know you can kind of just make him out over here, but here's the Tumbler from the Dark Knight movies. And yeah, I just kind of want to give you a quick little show of these vehicles ever so quickly. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, a lot of these have been customized, a bit sloppy as well, so you're going to have to bear with me. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people complaining in the comments below saying, oh my god, I can't believe you did that. I don't really care, to be honest. I did these years and years and years and years and years ago when I got these things when I was a kid, and I pretty much customized them then for a lot of these vehicles. Some of them, like this one, is from the Batman animated series. That was about 5 years ago when the series first came out, which I'll talk over in a sec. So, here's a quick look at majority of them. So let's have a closer look at them individually. So I figured we start off with one of my all-time favourite Batmobiles. This isn't my ultimate favourite. I said in my custom Batman video review that my favourite Batmobile is the 1989 Batman the movie, Michael Keaton Batman, and I figured we'd start with probably one of my all-time favourite Batmobiles. Now, DC Collectibles have actually just announced that they are going to be releasing this again in the actual 6-inch scale, because these are all made for the probably 5-inch figures, which I don't have. So if I grab my custom Batman, it's going to be my reference, you can see that he's much taller than this vehicle and he wouldn't be able to fit in it. A lot of my vehicles I did customise the insides to fit a 6-inch scale figure, but yeah, figures just seem to be getting bigger as we going along. So I will definitely be getting the DC Collectibles Batmobile when it comes out. I'm pretty excited about that. So having a closer look at this vehicle, it's very simplistic. It's got a nice simple grey finish to it with a little bit of grey plastic here for the engine, exhausts, and then you've got the wheel spokes here in the same plastic tyres, and then that's about it really when it comes to different colours. Then you've got obviously the clear glass for the actual screen. It's not actually show accurate because in the cartoon the Batmobile is actually black, but it's kind of like black with a tint of blue, whereas this is like a grey kind of blue. Now, like all toys from that era do have gimmicks. First gimmick is the wheel spikes pop out or extend. Not a massive amount, but still it's a cool little feature. And then the other gimmick is he can eject the whole cockpit to release like a little bat plane, which is pretty cool. And you've got like a little seat belt here you can clip into the Batman, and that holds there. And you've got a button here which would release a bomb, but I don't actually have the bomb. You just literally push the button and that fell out. Pretty cool little gimmick, to be honest. Yeah, I did quite like it. The only thing I didn't like is the extra wings stick out the back, which do break how the actual vehicle looks from the cartoon. And then of course you've got the opening cockpit. Not sure accurate, this one's broken so it just pops off. In the cartoon it does actually just slide forward, and I'm really hopeful that the DC Collectible one will also do so. So that is Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. Sticking to the animated series, you also have the Batwing, which is definitely one of my more favourite looks to... If I do that, it's definitely one of my more favourite looks of the Batwing. I do really like this version. I think it's iconic to the Tim Burton Batman design, but I also think it looks really, really cool in the series, and it does look generally like a Batwing. Do really like this. Now, this one did come in 2 versions, same as the Batmobile I just showed. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I did have it when I was a kid, but it did get destroyed, unfortunately. I bought this off of eBay a couple of years back for I can't even remember. I did have missile launchers, which is clipped into these holes here, and there was a gun turret which clipped in the bottom here, but I don't know where they're gone. I think this moved. Can't remember. Opening cockpit, and then there's a seat for in the back there for one person and a seat in the front for another person. Still pretty chuffed that I got it, and I think it's quite nice. I would ideally like to paint this black eventually, but I don't know if I'll ever get around to it now. Moving up to the next series, we have the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. This one I didn't like initially, but it's really grown on me. It's the same one as also used in Justice League Unlimited. And it is actually a nice looking Batmobile. It's very simplistic though. This one, like the Batwing, the seats go facing that way and that way, but I have customized mine to actually have 2 seats side by side. That took a lot of work, a lot of chopping, of reapplying. Had to basically, this hole here is actually a DVD case. Yeah, this one was done when it first came out though, many years ago. But it's pretty cool. One thing I think is a bit weird is how this has kind of like a textured feel to it, but everything else has a really gloss shiny feel to it. And then of course the vehicle has plastic wheels with plastic tyres, everything's plastic. Some nice stickers, decos on the back, some also stickers on the front. And then the gimmick on this one was you push this little slide here back and you rotate it around and it shows the engine block, which did have a firing missile when you push this button here, but I don't have the missile anymore. So, but it's cool to have like an engine there if you want to have a diorama of Batman working on the Batmobile. There you go. And then we have one of my grails, I think, from the Batmobile collection, is the Batman Beyond, or Batman of the Future Batwing Batmobile. This thing's very cool. In the cartoon it's just like a flying car, but it does actually have wheels, so it will roll. And they're here and here. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of red in it. And then if you look on the other side, you've got the logo. Looking inside the cockpit, you can see there, plenty of room there. Pretty cool cockpit. I do wish someone would actually be able to invent a way for these to have sliding cockpits. That'd be cool. And like I said, I really hope they do that in the next one's coming out. So there is a disc launcher here, which does shoot discs through the cockpit, but I seem to be having problems with it, so I'm moving the cockpit, and then you just see it just shoots it like that. I think it holds up to like 6 discs, and you can actually pull this down and you can do that to lock it so they don't actually fire. See, nothing will fire out. And then you have another gimmick where you pull this lever here back and it should, sorry, push forward, do that, which drops the wings. Then these front ones you can drop manually, but they're very stiff. God, that sounds like it's going to break. And then the last thing is these things here are buttons which do release like extra wings. So you can have this whole thing like that, which makes it a lot sleeker, but it does look pretty cool as like a additional jet or something. So that's the Batman Beyond Batmobile. And then we have the Batman. This is the second Batmobile actually. I never got the first one. I did want to get one, but it just never really happened. I saw a few on eBay, never actually won them though. I did bid, but just kept missing out. I wasn't that bothered, to be honest. Now this one should all right to be absolutely massive, but it's relatively really short. It's pretty nice, very nice looking vehicle, but it did have like these bubbly kind of light up parts on here which I just despised, and they looked really stupid. So I just removed all of them. Again, a DVD cover on here, just glue it straight on. It's not the sleekest, but it doesn't look too bad. And you've got this part here with the engine, which weird thing is this whole thing is a rubber, which I think is weird. Maybe so kids don't hurt themselves on that, I guess. Same as these are rubber as well. But very shiny wheels, nice kind of like deck on the front there, on the side rather. And but on the front again, it's had some kind of gimmick of firing a weapon, but I can't remember. And then there's no seat inside. I did take it out. I can't remember why. But you can fit a figure in there. It's pretty much hollow. So made it simple, but I do still think it's a nice little vehicle. It does look pretty cool. Okay, for now, for probably one of my all-time holy grails, this is the 1989 Batman Batmobile. This is my ultimate favourite Batmobile. When I think of the Batmobile, this is what I think of. I think this is such an awesome vehicle. I love the look of it. I love the kind of resemblance to the Bat. I love how it looks like a sport vehicle. It just looks awesome. Another thing I like about this toy was when I was a kid playing with it, because I've had one of these when I was younger. This actually might be the same one I had when I was younger, I can't think about it. Is it holds 2 seats, which is very cool. Not a lot of the Batmobiles before this had that, or vehicles really. So I thought it was very, very cool. It has a working steering wheel, and it has like a gear lever, but it doesn't actually control the gears or anything. It opens up the missile launchers, which I think was actually pretty funky. There was obviously missiles that shot out of there. Okay, yeah, not like what happened in the movie, there were guns, but still, it's pretty cool. And then if you come around to the back, you have an opening boot, or trunk. Again, really, really cool. It's massive as well. You can fit most of my hand in there. Sorry it's a bit dirty and dusty. I did give these things a quick wipe down, but obviously not enough. But all in all, really, really nice. There used to be Bat logos on the sign here, and used to be a bit of plastic here as a visor, but there was never any opening cockpit. That was a letdown for me on this vehicle. It's the only thing I've got bad to say about it. Apart from that, it is really, really, really nice, and definitely one of the best Batmobiles out there, if not maybe the best Batmobile toy. Another gimmick which this thing had, which not many people have actually seen or even own, is it came with this just a very light plastic shell. Now this thing is obviously because the Batmobile gets armor on it in Batman, I think, yeah, Batman and Batman Returns, so I was trying to think back to the movie, and this is that armor. And although the armor is actually silver, this just looks pretty cool, and it's just a very simple case which just slides over top. That's quite ingenious if you think from back then. I mean, these toys were made in the 1980s, so pretty stoked about that. And this is very, very rare to see one in actually pretty decent condition. My one is near perfect, maybe with a few kind of frayed bits at the bottom, but that's about it. But just like that. Tell me that doesn't look cool. Sticking to the Batman Returns line, this one we have is the one that actually does turn into the Bat Bullet, which is pretty cool. Actually, this time we have rubber wheels. Well, softer plastic as this, not quite as hard. And everything else just looks really nice. But then you do have a closed canopy, but it's squished, so it only really fits one person. So if I show you that from the front, see that is very narrow, where it should be like probably to about here. But the reason they've done that is because, like I said, this is the Bullet one, and I will show you that in a sec. So you have these kind of parts here, again, lift them up and you've got missiles coming out here by pulling on these. No boot opening, nothing else apart from when you push this button here, these parts come away. So I remove that. And this. Now these things do have nice deco in them still on the inside as well, which they didn't need to go to detail doing that, but it's pretty cool they did. But then you have the Bullet, which you see him use in the Batman Returns movie, which is very, very cool. So you've got like fake wheel there, and then a fake wheel there. So if you roll it over, you can see you got rear wheel, fake wheel, fake wheel, fake wheel, fake wheel. Very, very, very cool. And of course these things just clip in here, here and here. And then opening cockpit, again you have that steering wheel that works, but it can only seat one. Now I did think about alternates to make this big enough to fit 2 people, or rather the 6-inch people, but the cockpit's basically that big. And the only way to make it go further would basically be swapping this around with that, and it's a lot of work, so I never did it. I was contemplating it, but I'm happy I didn't, to be honest, because it is very nice as it is. Let's put these back on, line them up, clips in like that. Just like that. This one is much bigger than the other one. If I get the other one side by side, you should be able to see quite clearly that one's a lot bigger. This one's a lot bigger than this one. They're back to back, and this one has a good 2 inches on it. But still, I really like how this one looks. And then moving on to the next movie, Batman Forever. Not as bad as Batman Robin, still not a great film, but I did think the Batmobile was pretty cool in that. This one is very simplistic in a lot of things, and I wanted this one as a kid, but I never actually got around to getting it until like about 10 years ago. As you can see, you've got a opening canopy, which is very loose, and then you have a transparent, oh, that came off, a transparent seat, and everything in there is blue, so there was a button to make the whole thing light up. And you got the back here, which the twin fins open up like that. They're just kind of pegged, they're not even pegged in there, they pop out very easily. I think so did these, but I think I've glued these down. And then there was a button here to release the missile, but I've also glued that down. Like I said, I do a lot of things years ago, which I somewhat regret now. But I don't really care for gimmicks, so they don't bother me that much. But then yeah, the whole engine side did light up. Then looking at the back, you can see here you got the engine. All in all, it's a pretty cool Batmobile, to be honest. I do quite like it. And then that brings us to the tumbler. You all know the tumbler, which was first seen in Batman Begins, and I got this probably when that movie came out. Pretty cool car. It did have pretty cool gimmicks. It had 3 buttons at the top here. 2 did sounds. The middle one, you pushed it and these bits popped out and missile launchers came on up like that, which is a fairly cool gimmick, but I did remove it because I wanted to make the cockpit bigger so I could house a bigger figure. Because unfortunately this isn't really in the 6-inch scale. It's still big, but yeah, I just took out all the lights up. But apart from that, I do think it's a very, very cool car, and I do like the concept of this version of the Batmobile. It looks pretty awesome. These chunky tyres at the front. I thought the bit at the front was a bit weird, but apart from that, I did really, really like it, and I do think it looks very, very cool. Unfortunately, I don't have a Christopher Nolan Batman, as I did have the Movie Masters one, but I sold them all, so I'm going to be making my own one, just haven't got around to it yet. And then the last vehicle I've got to show is the Batpod. I just remembered I had this, so it's a bit dusty. I literally just grabbed it off my shelf, so I do apologise for the dust on it. But this thing is actually really nice. It's a Movie Masters one, and it's very, very cool. It's got soft rubber wheels, which are really nice and really great, decent. They roll really well, and it does hold itself very well as well. Really cool guns at the front. Unfortunately, they're not, you can't angle them or anything, but they're still pretty sweet. And then you've got the handles there, knee pads there. Something I found out on this one, this side, is you can open up the engine block. Did not know that, which I think is pretty sweet, because that's where obviously he sits, puts his knees there, feet here, and leans over. Very, very cool. It's interesting that this is supposed to come out of this when these front wheels are supposed to be these things here, if I remember rightly. So yeah. Don't quite get how that works, but still a very, very, very cool vehicle and a nice addition to the movie. So anyway, that is my vehicle collection, my Bat vehicle collection, I guess. I don't think I've forgotten any. So my fingers crossed for Ben Affleck. I really hope he does a respectful job as Batman. I saw a picture of him on Facebook the other day, and the dude is buffed out for the role, so I give him credit for that. We shall see. Just you know, I know everyone's very doubtful. I personally am not someone who really judges movies until I see them. As much as Daredevil was frowned upon and everyone hates it, I still think it's cool that we got a Daredevil movie, you know, same as Green Lantern. I did really enjoy Green Lantern, but so many people moan and complain about every little thing. It's still nice that we've got a Green Lantern movie. It might not have been what everyone is expecting, but I still think it's very cool that we got one. Anyway guys, I just wanted to show you up all these little vehicles here. Hope you enjoyed this little kind of sneaky peek into some of my collection. It brings back quite a nice little bit of nostalgia going through these vehicles from when I was a child and that, and seeing some of these vehicles. But to be honest, looking at this guy here, you can see in these colours, it makes me just can't help but think of the classic Batman figures I had with the little belt that kind of extended out of him. If you had one of those when you were a kid, you'll know what I'm on about. But anyway guys, as per usual, thanks for watching. If you did like this video, please drop me a like down below. Please subscribe, as per usual guys. Thanks for watching, you keep collecting, I'm going to catch you in my next one. Bye bye.